Hello my sexy muffins and welcome back to another video and welcome to finally part 2 of the Daycare Helper mini-series. I know I've been slacking on this one as well as a few others. I'm going to do better on that. Anyways, in this it is Daycare Helper part 2. I will have hopefully linked somewhere maybe up in the right top corner of the first one. And if not, I will have it at the end of the video in the playlist or as the suggested video at the end of the video. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, let's do this. It was the start of the thing of you're the daycare helper. Basically the summary was you made it down into the ball pit. Son introduced himself and the day started. Now we are moving on to nap time possibly and some more time with Son. So yeah, let's do this. It was finally time for lunch. Oh, wait. We have to do disclaimer. Disclaimer, Sun and Moon are both not Yandere and canon. They have separate bodies and, well, not separate bodies in this one. The picture is misleading. They share a body and share a mind. I don't know why I said two separate bodies or why I did that in the edit I did. I don't know why. Okay, that's weird. Anyways, so they share a body and they're both obsessed with Yule and Yandere for Yule. Yes. Disclaimer, they are not Yandere in canon and this is just for fun. Simping for fictional characters and fictional Yanderes is fine as long as you separate fiction from reality. And do not be gross about it or illegal about it. We all know what we're talking about. Anyways, let's do this. It was time for lunch and you were starting to set up the kids' lunch. Of course, it was all no allergy free, and you made sure that everyone's diets and diet restrictions were met on their sign-in sheets, which has their allergies and their food intolerances and so on, so that you respected the diets that the parents had their kids on. So you had everything set up and ready to go. You were handed it out one by one, and then Son came up to you, making sure that all the kids were with the kids, making sure that they all had washed their hands. They had. And Son was now helping you hand out lunches. He was making sure that you were right and that you didn't miss anyone else's allergies. It was fairly easy, and once you got everything done, you were finally able to sit down for the day. You had drawn, played with kids, and ended up doing a lot of paperwork that was backed up from the older daycare attendants. Ugh. The paperwork was a pain. You didn't have any time yet to have a drink of water or have your first coffee break or regular break at the daycare. So you were finally able to sit and have some lunch. While Son is busy doing his thing, you pull out your lunch, which is just a simple sandwich of your choice, and you forgot a drink. You saw him go over up to one of the vending machines and pick out your flavor of choice. Drink and go back down. It wasn't the best thing, and honestly you're going to crash and probably have a sugar headache by drinking so much sugar, but it was better than nothing. You open up the can and sigh. You could already taste the sugar on your lips. You drink the sugary drink, and it was beyond sweet. No wonder the kids loved this so much. You sigh and start to eat your sandwich with the sugary drink. As you watched the kids and Son work together, you realize how good he was with kids, and how he was programmed to be very good with kids in general and such. You did not know how he was made so well, but it was impressive to say the least. As you watch him, you notice he kept looking over at you, and once he had some free time, he skipped over to you. Literally skipped. "How are you doing? Are you having your lunch break?" he asks excitedly. You nod your head around a mouthful of food. You don't want to be rude and to just open up your mouth and word vomit on him not word vomit, sorry, brain dead. But you didn't want to speak with a whole mouth of food. He nodded his head and smiling. He then started to jump from foot to foot. Not jump, but go from foot to foot. and you watched him curiously. What was he doing? He pulled out from his back, why you do not know where he was keeping, how he was keeping that on his back, a picture. He hands it to you, and he plays with his hands, waiting for your reaction. You look and see a very impressive drawing. Well, you should have expected. He's literally a robot. He can be programmed with any skills, though he probably doesn't do as much impressive drawings with the kids because he doesn't want to outshine them. But it was a drawing of you and him in glitter glue, and it was impressive for glitter glue, at the very least. You look up at him, and he smiles. "Do you like it?" he says really excitedly and a little bit nervously. You nod your head and say it's very pretty. He is over the moon, and he picks you up and spins you around. You are squished against his chest, and you realize this is going to become a very much thing. You sigh as he puts you down, and then you look up at him. "Son, you gotta stop picking me up," you tell him, not trying to hurt his feelings. He frowns and looks down at you. "Why?" He whines slightly, not wanting to stop doing it. He likes being able to have you in his arms. It's one of his favorite things in the world now. He would be pouting at you if he could. And he then did not even wait for you to answer because he did not want to be told to stop. He wanted to just keep doing it, so he's ignoring you for right now so he doesn't have to stop. You sigh again. How many times in a day can you sigh because of this animatronic? And finish your lunch. Once lunch was done, the kids went back with Son to wash their hands after lunch. You started to clean up the little eat-in area so all the kids didn't leave in behind any crumbs. Gosh, kids were messy. All the wrappers and juice boxes. Ugh. Maybe you should work on a cleanup song with Son so that they would be motivated to clean up their area after lunch. You then got everything cleaned up, wiped down the tables, and when that was done, Son came back and looked at you. He was nervous. "You really should go on an extra break," he says, and you look at him. "Why? It's nap time now. I have to get everyone right for..." No, he says, shaking a finger in front of you, and starts to push you to the door. "No, we are not going to be doing that. You are not going to be here in nap time. I can take care of it," he says rapidly and looks even more nervous. Son was very nervous because he knew Moon would come out, and Moon was not happy about Son trying to get rid of you, so Moon could not meet you. He was very agitated at this, and before you could reach the door, the lights went out, and it was time for nap time. Son ran away from you as fast as he could back to the kids, and hopefully you would have left the room. Unfortunately, you did not, and you see him switch. Then you see across the room the red-eye animatronic staring at you, staring you down, and keeping an eye on you. You felt a bit unnerved, but also already knew about Moon, so it wasn't that much of a shock. You walked over to him and smiled. "So we ready to get the kids down for their nap?" You ask politely to Moon. He grins widely at you and says, wrapping you up in the light. It was stunning. You were stunning. Moon loved you more than anything already, and he wanted to keep you, and he knew Son felt the same, but he didn't want to share particularly. Of course, he knew he would have to share because they shared a body, and that he can't come out most of the time, so he was not going to lose you. He would have to talk to Son tonight and make sure that him and Son would share you and that you would be theirs. Of course, getting Son on board was more difficult than it sounded because he was such a ball of anxiety and a little bit selfish that he did not know how he was going to get Son on board right away. He would have to brainstorm. Nap time was soon over, and you were helping Moon clean up when he switched back to Son. Son grinned at you and asked you were you okay. You, of course, told him you were okay, that Moon did nothing wrong. Son smiles and chuckles, and then checked you for injuries regardless. He was way too worried that Moon had hurt you. This made you wonder how many people had Moon hurt before, that it became such a worry for Son. Anyways, I just kept going and going. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this. And if you would like to see part 3, part 3 is going to be where Sun doesn't want you to leave. Maybe, most likely. I hope so. I hope I remember this because honestly I had to re-listen to the trash that was episode 1. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed part 2, episode 2, whatever this is. And if you would like to see more, vote for number 3. Of course, Starlight. He says, grinning wide. If he could grin wider than he already was, he would. You and him get the kids down for a nap. Some of them were more difficult. And honestly, you realize why kids did not like Moon. Because him singing a lullaby to them is utterly terrifying. You were even unnerved. You decided to sing to them and said you weren't the best singer, but you also weren't the worst. And the kids seemed to appreciate it over Moon. Once you got all the kids at least laying down and pretending to be asleep, you sat beside Moon, away from the kids so they wouldn't hear you talking. So, it's nice to meet you, Moondrop, you tell him, smiling softly. He hums and looks at you, staring into your soul with those beady red eyes. Those red eyes were so intimidating and you didn't know what to do with them. But you wondered why Sun did not want you to meet Moon. That's what it seemed like at the very least. Moon didn't seem all that awful, but you also knew that Moon was the reason that there was an incident. And that there was the complaints and that the daycare had to be shut down for some time. Some probably was afraid that if you reported on Moon that you would have the daycare shut down again. Of course, this was not the case. You know Moon is a viable part of the daycare and also one of the security systems at night when people break in. Or try to break in. So you did not want to shut him down or get him removed or turn off Sun and Moon for good. So you and Moon talk, and it was mostly you talking about your day with Sun. Moon would hum or almost seem like he was growling, but he would quickly cover it up with saying that his chest was rumbling. Of course, you did not believe it. So you could tell that Moon and Sun did not get along, and that this was going to make your job so much more difficult. You wondered what Moon was thinking. Moon was thinking how beautiful you looked under the fake stars in the daycare. How you seemed to be as if it was glowing on you and I'm trying to think of the right word. And wrapping you up in the light. It was stunning. You were stunning. Moon loved you more than anything already, and he wanted to keep you, and he knew Sun felt the same, but he didn't want to share particularly. Of course, he knew he would have to share because they shared a body, and that he can't come out most of the time, so he was not going to lose you. He would have to talk to Sun tonight and make sure that him and Sun would share you and that you would be theirs. Of course, getting Sun on board was more difficult than it sounded because he was such a ball of anxiety and a little bit selfish that he did not know how he was going to get Sun on board right away. He would have to brainstorm. Nap time was soon over, and you were helping Moon clean up when he switched back to Sun. Sun grinned at you and asked you were you okay. You, of course, told him you were okay, that Moon did nothing wrong. Sun smiles and chuckles, and then checked you for injuries regardless. He was way too worried that Moon had hurt you. This made you wonder how many people had Moon hurt before that it became such a worry for Sun. Anyways, I just kept going and going. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this, and if you would like to see part 3, part 3 is going to be where Sun doesn't want you to leave. Maybe, most likely. I hope so. I hope I remember this because honestly I had to re-listen to the trash that was episode 1. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed part 2, episode 2, whatever this is. And if you would like to see more, vote for number 3. Hello, my sexy muffies. First of all, I'm sorry that this is late. This is edited in after it's been already edited. I had a really difficult where a lot got deleted and I had to do a lot from scratch. It was horrible. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this. And yes, you can now vote. This was pre-recorded, so I was saying that you couldn't vote right now. I mean, not vote, but request. But you can request. It's semi-request, though. So I have the right to decline a request based on if it's not going to get done fast enough or if it would be too much research at this time. I might do it later in the future, so your full request turns down are not going to be permanent. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed. And yes, you can request. And if you would like to see a part 3, subscribe. Oh, and at the end of this will be links to videos of Sun and Moon for you to see. So enjoy. Anyways, stay sexy, all my sexy muffins. Bye-bye.